Hello, ladies, and welcome to Elevate Her Space. This week's topic is going to be called the becoming, getting in the frequency of receiving the future. I love this topic. It came to me throughout this week because I caught myself just not being in the energy of receiving the things I want to manifest for my future. And I stopped myself at that very moment from the energy that I was in, and I had to do a lot of inner work to get out of that energy and move on to the energy of receiving. And it made me think, wow, I know that so many people experience this, and I really want to talk about what happens in that moment where you find yourself not in the energy that you're supposed to be in order to get ahead, in order to manifest great things in your life. And honestly, also give yourself grace because we are human and it happens. And the point is to notice it, be self-aware of it, but move on, right? And the moving on part is the hardest part. And I'm here to talk it with you, talk through things with you, and hopefully we can unpack what might be going on at that moment while that's happening for you. The becoming is about aligning with the version of yourself that is ready to receive what you have been praying for, dreaming about, and preparing for. Becoming is not about rushing the future. It's about transforming who you are today so the future can recognize you. And this ties into also being grateful, right? Like at the moment right now, what you have to realize is that you are living out what you've manifested in the past. You are living out your prayers currently. And so we have to, in a way, show God, show the universe that we are grateful for what has been granted to us, what we've been able to receive. And we are able to hold it, right? We have to show the universe, we have to show God, I'm so grateful for this that you've provided, and I'm able to hold more. We are not able to get more if we cannot hold what we currently have. And when we are ungrateful and we're being nitpicky of the little things that may be going, that we can complain about, we can complain for days, right? We can be billionaires and complain. We can have everything that we want right now that we want to manifest. We can have it right now in this instant and still complain. So why would God grant us that if we're spending too much time focused on the very microscopic things? We have to zoom out of sometimes our mundane emotions and the things that may approach us throughout the day and really take a moment to think on a bigger scale of things. When you think on a higher frequency, when you think about the bigger picture, the small things don't tend to matter. And that is the frequency I want to operate in, and I want to motivate you to operate in. Becoming present in the now to manifest the future, right? So am I currently in the energy to receive what I'm asking God for, right? So becoming present in the now to manifest the future is our first bullet point here. Becoming starts with presence. Being present does not mean giving into every emotion or feeling that arises. It means pausing and asking yourself, am I currently in the energy to receive what I'm asking God for? Like I just mentioned, we have to have that check-in moment at every given time that we catch ourselves slipping into it. Are you operating in the energy of the spirit you want to embody, the community you want to attract, the habits required to sustain your prayers once they arrive? Are we practicing good habits in order to obtain and be able to hold those manifestations that we want in the future? The future is not something we chase. It's something that we prepare to hold. So, right, going back to living in the present, right? So we don't have to constantly be trying to see if we can chase the future, like what's next. Let's just make sure we're in the energy of receiving the future. Number 2, becoming clear, right? Sometimes we want to always ask God for a clear sign. God, show me a sign this is the right path. Please, God, please show me this exact thing to give me that answer, right? We have to also be, if we want God to be clear, we have to be clear. We have to use our language, use our words, use our energy, use our spirit to ask God exactly what we want. And it also made me realize, which I did this week, was write down your morals. Write down your personal beliefs. What is your personal code of conduct? Once you have that written down, I used to think that I just had that, right? Like I already knew who I was. I know exactly what I won't do and what I will do. But sometimes we can get stuck in so much, and like we can be stuck, or we could be, presented with so many things. We need a handwritten copy of what those beliefs are. Right? We have to know exactly what it is that we want to continuously embody. So writing it down is huge. And I was able to do that. And I love what I came up with. I actually want to share with you ladies one of the things that I wrote, one of my morals, right? So my morals and code of conduct, number 1 is becoming God's daughter. Number 2, which I'm going to share with you guys, is quantum light. I titled it quantum light because I wanted it to mean, so quantum light, what it means to me is constantly operating like I'm in charge of pushing standards for my ancestors and the lineage that comes after me. When you think about that, right, and I have to work at a quantum speed. In order for me to raise the standards of my ancestors and the ones that come after me, I have to work in that energy field. My ancestors manifested me, and the ones that come after me I need to manifest them, right? I want to manifest the generations that come after me. And I have to move like that in this lifetime. So I have to ask myself, how high am I willing to go? How high do I want? Depending on how high I go is how high they're able to go. So how high am I gonna go in this lifetime, in this generation? What energy am I currently operating at? And what level of frequency am I speaking to? Move in quantum light. That is one of my morals. So with that being said, thinking about your personal morals and your personal values, when you are constantly operating and constantly working at the things we currently are working at, we have to be intentional. We have to ask ourselves, what I'm currently doing, am I pouring into those morals and in those values? If it's not aligning with that, then I'm doing something wrong. And more than likely, God and the universe will show you that you're doing something wrong when you're operating out of those beliefs and out of what God wants us to be aligned with. And number 3, raising your standards. Becoming requires expansion. Just because you have not seen it before, just because you don't see it around you currently, just because you probably haven't even seen it on media, does not mean it cannot be done. And it does not mean that standard is too high, right? Another one of my morals, I titled "Do It Scared," because more than likely, when you see something being done, they're doing it scared. They're doing it in a position where they are scared to shit, right? They are shaking inside. Their whole spirit is trembling, but they're doing it anyway, right? I once heard that confidence is a made-up word. It's a made-up feeling. And that's true. We cannot wait around for confidence to happen. Confidence is up to us, right? Confidence does not mean, just because you're confident doesn't mean that you're not scared, right? So we have to understand that duality. We have to be confident in our faith. We have to be confident in the God that we serve. We have to be confident in that supernatural ability. And so Just because, like I said, you have not seen it around you before be done, just because the people that you may follow on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, on YouTube, whatever it is that you're seeing has not done it, does not mean you cannot do it. Sometimes we shrink our expectations because we haven't seen it molded, because it's never been happened to us before. We do not see people around us experiencing it, or society or media makes it feel unrealistic. But absence of evidence does not mean evidence of impossibility. Ask boldly, dream freely, and move intentionally, right? This ties it all together. Ask boldly, dream freely, and move intentionally. If there's anything that you write down in your notes today, I want it to be this. God places desires and visions inside of us as divine blueprints. When God gives us a download, it is up to us to execute it. And if we don't, someone else will. That's why we see people accomplish things that we've dreamt of before, right? Or we'll be like, oh, that person copied me because they did this before, they did it, and I thought about it, and I've said that I was gonna do it. No, honey, they're not copying you. You know what happened? God gave you the blueprint, God gave you that download, and you pondered on it way too slowly. It took you way too long, and he gave it to somebody who was able to execute it quicker than you. So it's either going to be you or somebody else. You have the choice. We are not powerless participants in our life, right? So just because we get a download and we don't believe that we can do it, does not mean it cannot be done. That's the work, right? Like, you believing that you can't do it, you need to work on that. That is the work you need to do. God has already given you the desire, the most important part, right? And now you just have to do some work with him that he's going to hold your hand through. Do the work with him to get it done. That is the greatest gift that you can give God. We are co-creators with God, right? So we are holding his hand through this. We just have to make the decision whether or not we want to be in partnership with him or not. That is your decision. That is your work that needs to be done. So our closing message here is becoming is not about perfection. It is about alignment. It is about preparing your spirit, your mind, and your actions to hold what you are asking for. The future you desire is also waiting for you to become ready for her. Nothing in my words indicate that you have to wait around for somebody to do it. Nothing in my words say that somebody is going to help you do this. Everything in my words say it's a partnership between you and the higher spirit, the higher God, the most high, right? That is the only thing you need. That is what I'm going to leave you ladies with. I wanted to hop on here and share with you my thoughts about this week. I pray that this aligns with you. I pray that this unlocks something within you and you get to see something a little bit more clear about yourself and your relationship with God. I love you so much. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and happy Valentine's Day.